The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
To the university, I found it. Ma'am. Oh. I need EMS immediately to the location where the phone pings. Ma'am. She's down, she's not breathing. Potentially been attacked. Starting CPR now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm not getting any pulse. She's stiff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's what you was at. 1, 2, go back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Take over. Looks like blunt force trauma to the head. Her shirt has been removed above her breast. Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24. Far side, if you look at the ping, we're exactly where that phone was pinging at. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm going to stop it right here at 12:40 for the record, states 15. Let me ask you a few questions, Sergeant Maxwell. First and foremost, we hear a whistle. Is that you whistling?
Yes, ma'am. It's my patrol whistle. We always keep it on our uniforms.
Why are you whistling?
To help other responding units figure out where we're at.
We heard you describe it, but tell us for the record, when you observed Laken Riley, first of all, how would you describe her clothing?
So it appeared that her clothing, at least her shirt, had been removed to up above her breast. It did not look as if something had unintentionally happened, as if somebody falls and has a wardrobe malfunction. It looked more intentional, as if somebody had attempted to either remove her top or maybe had used it to drag her.
At some point, did you all have to remove her top?
Yes.
In order to continue CPR?
Yes.
How did y'all do that?
We have, at least some of us carry some shears on us, trauma shears, so we use those to cut off her clothing.
And who is that other officer that we now see in the video with you?
That's Corporal Mason Bridges.
Okay. And the two of you are, I see, were working together with CPR?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, does EMS arrive?
Yes, they do.
And at some point, do you all have to physically move her body?
Yes, I believe it was before EMS showed up. It was when Athens-Clarke County Fire showed up. Okay. And they suggested that because she was laying in a more of a divot, that it would be better to move her to the side for better compressions.
Okay, and I could see you and Officer Bridges there. Were either one of you wearing gloves?
No.
Okay.
You okay? Need a switch? Okay, let me know.
And when you first saw her, was she covered by anything, or how would you describe how she was when you first saw her body?
Yes, she was laying slightly on her side, and it appeared that she had some leaves and other vegetation that had been placed on top of her.
Tell them to go to the lake and take a next left. Take a left at the lake and then take another. Go to the left, take a left, just keep going left. I'm blowing my whistle, so you should be able to hear it.
I'm gonna try to fast forward a little bit.
You're not that.
I'm at 17:32.
I'll keep going. You got it? Keep going. Okay. CPR. Dude, head trauma? You look like right there.
Call for help. Remove pads with package in back of unit. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Apply pads.
Push it that way a little bit. Pull it that way just a little bit. Reverse to apply pads now.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest as shown. Analyzing interrupted. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient.
Yeah, run south where I ran in. About 45 degrees
No
angle
shots
to your left.
advised.
Looks like right.
To touch the patient. Beginning CPR now.
Hey, I need you to scream for those officers. Hey, you know where we are. Walk over there and get them over here. Okay, you're okay. You're okay.
For 1 minute 45 seconds.
What do you mean you want to cut her shirt? Go ahead, try to get it off.
That person that you all were just talking to at 17:44, 12:44, who was that person?
That was one of our interns.
So she is with y'all.
Yeah, she was riding with Corporal Bridges that day.
Continue. Continue for 1 minute 30 seconds. Continue.
So why is it that you all had to cut the clothes as we just saw, as opposed to just taking the clothes off?
I believe when Sergeant Epps arrived, he attempted to take them off, but they were really tight, bound up, basically, to make it so it was very difficult, as well as some of her extremities were starting to become stiff.
Continue for 1 minute 15 seconds.
You got that? You got the wire? You got the wire? Oh. Look at that.
Continue. Continue for 1 minute.
There you go.
Continue.
Is that everything?
Continue for
Sergeant Epps, did you notice anything about Laken Riley's clothes beneath her waist?
Yes, so she had on a pair of like running leggings, and it looked like in the front side, her underwear was bunched up towards the top end.
Was her navel exposed?
Yes.
45
Good,
seconds.
forgot. Come on. Get another pad. Get another pad. Get another pad. Get another pad.
Continue. Continue for 30 seconds.
And can we see that now in the underwear as you described it at 17:45 for the record, 12:45?
Yes, in this direct frame, I think my cord for my whistle is covering it, but any frame to the side should be able to.
Okay, you see her underwear in that? Please point to it for the court.
So down here, it's kind of peachish or tan in color.
Sticking out of the pants in the middle of the frame? Yes? Is that in the middle of the frame
Oh,
for the
yes,
record?
yes.
Thank you. And that's at 17:45 for the record.
Continue. Continue for 60 seconds. Continue for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop CPR. Analyzing interrupted. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient. Analyzing.
I'm going to move a little bit I'm going to fast forward a little bit until you move her. And so for the record, I'm going to go about 3 minutes ahead. And since I am jumping ahead, instead of playing all 3 minutes, could you just tell the court what happens in the 3 minutes before y'all move her?
So we continue to rotate back and forth between AED instructions and giving compressions. During this time, Athens Clarke County Fire Department will have shown up as well.
Who is the other officer that has arrived from your police department that we see?
So Sergeant Epps will have been that officer.
So at this point, then it's you, Sergeant Epps, and Officer Bridges.
Yes.
You know, even just the audio that we're able to hear inside of the courtroom, it is moving evidence inside of the courtroom. The judge has made it where the media can't see this body camera footage, of course, because of the graphic nature of that discovery of Laken Riley's body, but you can hear so much from this sergeant, his reaction to finding this victim.
The Court TV podcast will return.
We are watching day one of the murder trial for a defendant accused of killing a nursing student, Laken Riley, in Georgia in February. The prosecution says that Jose Ibarra murdered Riley while she was jogging on the University of Georgia's campus in February of this year. This is the last image taken of Laken Riley before she was murdered. This was evidence in the trial we are hearing play out in front of a judge only, no jury. Let's get you back into the courtroom now. On the stand is the University of Georgia Police Sgt. Kenneth Maxwell, who located the body of Laken Riley.
Not touch the patient. Analyzing heart rhythm. Do not touch the patient.
I'm at 17:48 for the record.
Analyzing. No shock advised. It is safe to touch the patient.
Negative.
Begin CPR now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
We've been doing it for a while now.
10,
We've had nothing to write on this.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29,
Continue
30.
for 1 minute 45 seconds.
Who found it?
I did.
Continue. Continue for 1 minute.
Yeah, we got pads on her. 3 times in check, no shock advised.
Okay, hey, we need to pull her up onto some flat ground.
All right.
Get better compression.
Continue for 1 minute.
1, 2, 3.
Get that.
Pads on her.
We got, hey,
Continue.
Thanks, sir.
Continue for 1 minute.
taking over CPR.
Do we have somebody with crime scene tape? We need to start going around here.
Yeah, go ahead and get a BBM.
Let me grab those back.
And so now at 17:50 or 12:50, is that when fire took over CPR?
Yes.
All right. Is this location where you found Laken Riley's body in Athens, Clarke County, Georgia?
Yes, it is.
After fire takes over CPR, what do you do?
So at that point, I suspected that this wasn't an accident based on the circumstances in which she had been found. So I started communicating with Sergeant Epps that we need to begin setting up a perimeter to preserve any evidence because I believe the crime had occurred.
What perimeter did y'all set up?
So we set up a pretty wide perimeter from that location outwards. I'm not sure exactly how far it was, but I myself went up to the more northern side of that main trail that I had walked in on, and I stood there until I was relieved.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
And I'm gonna just take out states 15 and leave out medical order. How long did you stay on the scene that day?
I was there, let's see. In my narrative, I think I have until about 3:20 in the afternoon when I was relieved by another officer at that perimeter, but I was on scene for at least a couple more hours.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
No questions, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Are you going to replay any of this?
I'm not going to.
Okay. I'm going to, if somebody will let them know, if anybody wants to come back in, they can do that. I'll leave that up to them.
You don't have to. Thank you, Judge. And Judge, I'll try to keep this brief. Is it Sergeant Maxwell?
Yes, it is.
Okay. When you arrived on the scene, Miss Riley's pants were on, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. They were pulled up above the waist?
To the waist, yes.
Okay. And the only thing that you noticed about her pants was that her underwear was up above her waistline, is that right?
Correct. It was bunched up in the front.
Okay. And that her shirt was pulled up, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the way that I heard you describe it on direct was that it could have been removed, is that right, by someone?
It appeared to me as if somebody may have attempted to remove it. That's where it had been lifted up.
Or had used it to drag her, is that right?
Potentially.
Okay. Did you notice any blood stains around her ankles?
I did not.
Okay. Did you notice any injuries to her ankles?
I did not.
Okay. Could this shirt have also come up if she were dragged by her feet?
I would have to speculate, potentially.
Okay. You don't have any personal knowledge of how the shirt was pulled up, is that right?
No.
Okay. And how far off of the trail would you say she was when you found her?
At least 50 feet.
Okay. And it wasn't obvious when you started looking for her, it wasn't obvious where she was?
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the area surrounding her that looked disturbed in any way, or is that just not something that you were necessarily looking for at the time?
Exactly. It wasn't something I was looking for at the time.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Judge.
The Court TV podcast will return.
Did you guys literally cut the tree?
Yes,
And why did you do that?
because we wanted to make sure that we had the best evidence possible, and we felt that swabs were not going to be enough.
Evidence marker 5. Which is state 69 and is depicted in the photograph. What is that?
That's her jacket.
And State's Exhibit 70, what does that depict?
Her sports bra.
And had those items been cut prior to your arrival?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Handing you now what has been marked for identification purposes of State's Exhibits 90 and 91. I'll ask you to do the same thing, take a look at those items, and I'll ask you some questions. Can you start with 90? What is State's 90?
This is her jacket, and actually there was also her shirt, but her clothing was so tangled that I didn't even realize the shirt was in there on scene.
And when you say tangled, what do you mean by that?
Well, the AED pads, it had been cut off by law enforcement. The AED pads were tangled in the clothing, and to avoid disturbing any trace evidence, we didn't open it completely.
All right, and are those items in the same or substantially same condition as they were when you collected them?
Yes.
They would move to admit State's 89. No objection.
89 was the street.
I apologize, 90. And may I publish 90 before moving on?
Yes.
Oh, there's part of her sports bra on there too. Yeah.
Let's do them one at a time. And 90, there are 3 items inside State's 90, the bag that's marked State's 90. Item number 1 I have in my hand inside of State's 90 is in my right hand. What is this item?
That is the jacket.
Item 2 in my left hand inside of State's 90, what is that?
The shirt.
Does this jacket have a zipper on it?
Yes, it does.
Item number 3 inside of State's 90, what is this?
A section of the sports bra.
Moving on to State's 91. Sorry, Mom, let me fix that. Or do you want to pick up there? It's out. Is 91 in the same or substantially same condition as it was the day you collected it?
Yes.
State would move to admit State's 91, request permission to publish. No objection.
91's admitted, we went
And what is 91?
A section of the sports bra.
So the other section of the sports bra.
Correct.
Thank you. That would bring us to your item number 7. Could you tell us about item 7?
So as I mentioned before, I was trying to look for additional evidence, and as I was walking the area looking for additional blood stains, I came across a dark colored stain that I suspected could be blood, so I marked it, I tested it, it ended up not testing for the presence of blood.
And that's item 73, or State's Exhibit 73?
Yes.
Show you State's 50. What are we looking at there?
So this is after I put out my evidence markers, and I'm just showing generally where the evidence markers are, and then this is the area of disturbed leaves.
Show the area of disturbed leaves.
Where I could actually see the ground.
So would it be in State's 50 between the tree that you cut and Laken Riley's body in that photograph?
Correct.
State's Exhibit 54. Let me move some of these on. What does that depict? And wait a second, I think it'll clear on its own. There we go.
So in this photograph, I'm trying to show evidence marker number 1, which is the AirPod, and then there was also a path of disturbed leaves, not as disturbed as the area near 2, 3, and 4, that I used pin flags to kind of show the track of the disturbed leaves.
And that path of disturbed leaves, did it go from the trail to where?
It went from the trail to evidence markers 2, 3, and 4.
And that path would be how long in length?
It would have been a little less than 6411.
But would it be over 50 feet?
Yes.
When you say you saw disturbed leaves and you marked them with those orange flags, what did you physically see?
So when we were looking in the area, we were trying to look for additional evidence or just evidence in general. There, like I said, the leaf coverage was thick, but you could see almost like a slight depression in that area that led from the trail to the area of evidence markers 2, 3, and 4. And it was a little challenging to photograph because of the shadows of the trees, so I used the pin flags to show the path.
And what are we looking at here in States 53?
So this is a photograph from evidence markers 2, 3, and 4 back out, showing the viewpoint from the opposite direction, going from 2, 3, and 4 back to the trail, and then the pin flags are there.
Can you point to the pin flags so we can see them?
Yes.
Okay. Up in the middle of the photograph. And when you walked that trail and you photographed and you looked at, did you look at the disturbed leaf path?
Yes.
Did you see any blood?
No, I did not.
States 50. I already showed you that one, I'm sorry. 1 second. I want to talk to you about your marker 8. What was marker 8?
The phone.
At what time or how long approximately did it take y'all to find the phone?
We found the phone maybe about an hour before we finished, so maybe like 5 hours.
By the time you found the phone, was it daylight still or dark?
It was still dark. Oh, well, sorry, it was dark.
So States Exhibit 80, what are we looking at there?
I can't see the evidence marker.
I'm sorry, hold on. I will try to move it and see if it resumes. There we go.
So this is a photograph of evidence marker 8, and then in the background here, those are the other evidence markers.
Okay. And where, I know we see evidence marker 8, but can you see the actual cell phone in this photograph?
No.
Okay. But it was there where evidence marker 8 was?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take a close-up of this?
I did.
States 81, what does that depict?
The cell phone.
Can you please point to the cell phone in States 81? Okay, in the middle of the screen?
Yes.
Did you collect the cell phone?
Yes, we did.
Did you look at the cell phone?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you observe about the cell phone?
We noticed that there was an area of ridge detail on the phone.
When you say ridge detail, what do you mean by that?
Fingerprint ridge detail.
Were you able to see that without processing the phone at all?
Yes, a little bit, but I had to use oblique lighting, so that's where you take your flashlight and you kind of side light it to be able to view the latent prints better.
States 82, what does that depict?
That's a photograph of the phone and me using the flashlight to try to highlight it.
I'm gonna wait for this thing to stop moving. Okay, hold on a second. Maybe it doesn't like the photos on top of each other. Okay. Where on the phone was this image that you saw, or this item that you saw? See, I'm not even touching it now, and it's just moving.
It was at the bottom, close to the charging port area.
And do you see it depicted in States 82?
Yes.
Please point to it with your pointer. Were you able to determine, was there any reddish brown stains on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, what did you see?
It looked like there were reddish stains suspected to be blood.
Okay. Where on the phone?
Specifically the print.
State's Exhibit 83, this may be really tough. I think I'm gonna have to come to you closer for it. So before I do that, did you end up taking a better photograph or more photographs of the latent print that you saw on the phone?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 84, what is that?
That is a macro photo of the latent print, or in this case, it would be a patent print because we could kind of see it. So, of the ridge detail.
Of the ridge detail.
Correct.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.